Hey everyone, John Jacob Schmidt here from Amron and Radio Free Redoubt. We've got T-Rex and Cascadia Rising coming up here pretty soon, and several folks have asked, will we be live streaming the Amron nets? The short answer is no. Heck no, we don't, we won't, we never will. First of all, we want to encourage you to get your HF receiving or HF transmitting capabilities up. In a real-world disaster situation, you will not have the crutch of the internet to be able to tune in to find out what's going on in a grid down situation. That would defeat the whole purpose. On the other side of that coin, we do understand many of you are making headway. You're working hard to get your technician licenses. You've got your first handheld dual band VHF UHF radio, and we congratulate you for that. We know that you're on your journey, and everyone's at a different place in your journey, and HF capabilities are on the horizon for you, but you're not quite there yet. Well, for these exercises that are coming up, it's not just the Amron nets, it's also Ares, Races, Mars, FEMA, and other HF traffic, the Salvation Army, Red Cross, lots of great information there and sources for you to be able to tune into in a grid down situation. Cascadia Rising and T-Rex are a training exercise, and we don't want you to miss out. I'm going to show you a couple of tools that you might be able to use to be able to tune in on the HF bands. One of those resources is webSDR.org. That stands for Software Defined Radio. webSDR.org. There you'll see dozens of stations from the Netherlands, Russia, England, Brazil, Italy, South Africa, and the United States, all over the place, who have physical wires, antennas up in the air connected to their computer, which is connected to the internet, and they are live streaming it's actually an interactive software-defined radio that you can actually control remotely over the internet from your computer. So Cascadia Rising is mostly a Pacific Northwest training exercise involving the government and non-government organizations. So you want to try to tune in to Cascadia Rising traffic. If you go to your filter, you can select the North American region, and this shows you all of your stations that are going to be streaming the software-defined radios. You can also select by band, because as you can see over here in this frequency range, this is what this particular operator has chosen to cover. So 3.276 through 5.324 megahertz. And so he's got several different bands that he will cover here, and off to the side, he'll even, a lot of times they'll list what type of antenna that they're using. That's a G5RV. That's the same antenna that I use as my primary wire antenna. So we're looking specifically in the Pacific Northwest. No, there's one in Georgia, there's one in Arizona, California. California may be able to pick up some of the traffic from Cascadia Rising, which is centered around Washington and Oregon states, and quite a bit of activity in Idaho as well. Alabama, Canada, there's one. University of Victoria in British Columbia, Canada. That's just north of the border there of the Puget Sound area, the greater Seattle area. So they are very likely to be able to pick up some traffic. There are also a couple in Washington state. But let's take a look at this one in Canada. Once you open up their website, it'll automatically begin playing. And these are the different bands that you can listen to on this particular operator's software-defined radio. There's a quick look of their different bands, and they have 2 users simultaneously tuned into that right now. Let's go to the waterfall, and this is where all the activity is, and this is where you actually control their software-defined radio. So we're in the 40 meter band right now, and you can see the activity here. There's not a whole lot on there. They're not picking up a whole lot. Let's go to 20 meters. We got a little bit, looks like CW right there. There's some CW over here. And you just click on the black portion of the waterfall below where you see the signal coming up on the waterfall. This is CW. Now if you look, you can see this looks like a little hat. You can actually grab that and you can widen it up and pull in more of the signal, but it also makes it louder. You hear a lot of the ambient noise. So you can quiet that down by grabbing each edge and narrowing the bandwidth that you're listening to. Good, solid copy. Now if you opened up your FL Digi software, you could actually decode this. I'll just show you real quick here. And he went away. Let's go back out and let's find another receiver. And let's find one in Washington. Here's one in Renton, Washington. KC7 IGT. Now these do have some limitations. You can grab the blue portion of the waterfall and drag it to see more of the band, but this is all he has chosen to stream. Just this portion of the 40 meter band, which takes you up to about 7210, 7205. And the Amron voice nets run on 7242, which would be out here, and he's not covering it. However, the Amron digital nets run on 7110, which is right there. You just click in the black portion and it'll automatically line up that little receiving hat that shows you what you're listening to. Let's narrow that back down a little bit. Now, where you see some of these lines, like here, that's just RF. That's radio frequency interference. Some type of a tone or something near my shack. There's a signal. And these wider ones over here are voice. So let's go to lower sideband. There we go. Okay, they're on 7189 right here. And each one of these signals you see right there is kind of faint. That's voice. Way down there in the weeds, just right at the noise floor. If you know the frequency, you can go over here to this box, highlight it, and type in the frequency that you want to go to. 7189.00 would take you right here to these guys where we're listening. You can also zoom in, get a better look at that particular conversation. Now we lost our little yellow hat. Just click and drag, and it'll bring you over to where these guys are. There it is. You can see that little yellow vertical line right there. With that right on the edge of that signal. And the rest of this the bandwidth of that signal will be taken in right there. Conversation over here.
So I didn't, but I'm sure you know all the Albuquerque guys out there, QSL.
Zoom back out. So there's one way that you can listen. Punch in those frequencies. And let me see if we can find a digital signal over here. There's someone tuning up. Zoom out. And then max out. I'll pull you all the way back out. A little bit of Morse code in there. Try zooming in. You can hear that Morse code, but it's kind of buried in the noise, so we can narrow this by grabbing each edge of that hat. Or you can just go down here and click CW narrow. It'll automatically narrow it. Oops. Click right there where you want that hat to go. You want to know what he's saying? Pull up your FL Digi, go up to op mode, click CW. There's a signal right here. Click on that. Over here we got some more voice. Let's go to upper sideband. Lower sideband, I mean. Zoom in. So there you go. There's one tool that you can use. Go back here to the directory. We've already selected North America. Get rid of the band. Any band, actually. There we go. Each one of these operators, you'll see the band that they're streaming. And there's the limitations, the frequency limitations. So within those parameters, if the frequency you're looking for is listed there, you can go check it out. And you have the best luck by trying to tune in here regionally, especially like 40 meters, 10 meters, and so on. You also have a map here where you can look to see where each of them are located. A little slow. So these two up here, 9 and 11, 911, might be the ones that would be the most interesting for trying to tune in and listen to Cascadia Rising traffic here. Possibly this 4 and 13 in Utah and California. So there you have it. There's another tool for you to be able to tune in. But I want to encourage you, once again, to get HF capable, even if it's only a shortwave radio with the wire up in the air, because this internet tool may not always be there, and you'll be left in the dark, quite literally, if you don't have the means of grabbing all of that information that's flowing through the airwaves. Hope you find that helpful. There will be more on the way. This is John Jacob Schmidt, out.